internet didn't just witness a rap beef flare up again, it witnessed a public humiliation ritual playing out in real time, and the most dangerous part is, everybody was laughing while it happened.
Come to your neighborhood, though. Go to your neighborhood. We want to see you walk around Queens. Go walk around Queens, man.
Young Buck thought he was celebrating a birthday, a rodeo party, horses, friends, OGs, love from the neighborhood, the kind of scenes that look like peace, like a man who survived the industry and came back home still respected. But while Buck was riding horses and shaking hands, somewhere else a different kind of celebration was happening. Not a birthday party, a setup. Because the moment those videos went live, someone else was watching too. Watching, waiting, calculating. And if you know anything about 50 Cent, you already know he doesn't post by accident. He posts when he smells opportunity. He posts when he sees an opening. He posts when he knows one move can flip the whole internet upside down. And that's exactly what happened here. At first, everything looked normal. Buck in his hood, Buck with his people, Buck showing the world he still loved where he comes from. It looked like a redemption story. It looked like a man reconnecting with his roots. But what people didn't realize was that this entire moment was about to be hijacked. Because right when Buck was showing the world community, someone else was preparing to show the world humiliation. And the weapon of choice wasn't a diss track. It wasn't an interview. It was a meme. But not just any meme. A carefully crafted AI parody image designed to hit multiple targets at once. The kind of post that looks like a joke on the surface, but feels like a knife if you understand the history behind it.
Cubs, what's up, OG? Yes, sir. You did, like, come where you from. You know what I'm saying?
Because this wasn't random. This wasn't just trolling for fun. Every single detail in that post was calculated. Replacing Buck in the group image like he never existed. Bringing up old group drama. Bringing up old rumors. Bringing up old wounds that never really healed. That's not humor. That's strategy. And the most dangerous kind of strategy is the one that makes people laugh while someone else's reputation gets slowly erased. The caption looked like a joke, but if you read between the lines, it was a reminder of being kicked out. A reminder of the past. A reminder that no matter what Buck does, the internet will always remember certain moments. And 50 knows that. He understands something most people don't. In modern beef, you don't win by fighting, you win by controlling the narrative. And 50 has been controlling this narrative for almost 2 decades. But here's where things get interesting. Because this time, Buck didn't stay quiet. This time, Buck didn't post a cryptic message. This time, Buck went live. Not from a mansion, not from a studio, from his block. From the streets where people actually know his name, not his headlines. And that changed the energy completely. Because now this wasn't just memes versus silence. Now it was memes versus reality. Buck walking through his neighborhood, shaking hands, talking to OGs, standing outside like a man who had nothing to hide and nothing to run from. And then he said the line that shifted the entire conversation. He didn't just respond, he challenged. He basically said, "You keep talking on the internet, but can you walk through your own neighborhood the way I'm walking through mine? No security, no cameras, no protection, just you and the people." That wasn't just a comeback, that was a statement. And the internet exploded because now people weren't just laughing anymore. Now people were picking sides. But this is where the story gets deeper, because this situation didn't start with a birthday meme. This situation didn't start with Instagram. This situation started almost 20 years ago, when business and brotherhood collided and never recovered. See, people who only watch the memes think this is just trolling, but people who know the history know this is something else. This is unfinished business. This is old resentment. This is money, loyalty, betrayal, contracts, recordings, humiliation, and power all mixed into one long story that never really ended. Because when Young Buck joined G-Unit, that wasn't just a rap group. That was supposed to be family. And the most dangerous fights are not between enemies. They're between people who used to call each other brothers. When the money issues started, when the manager situation went bad, when Buck got stuck between loyalty and business, that's when the crack formed. And once that crack formed, everything else started falling apart slowly. First, the distance. Then the tension, then the interviews, then the removal from the group, and then the moment that changed everything, the leaked phone call. Because in hip-hop, image is everything. Reputation is everything. And when that phone call leaked with Buck crying and apologizing, the internet didn't see a man going through a real emotional moment. The internet saw weakness. And once the internet labels you weak, it never forgets. That moment became a shadow that followed Buck for years. Every argument, every joke, every meme, every comment section, it always came back to that one moment. And the person who leaked it was the same person he once called family. That's why this beef feels different. That's why this doesn't feel like entertainment sometimes. This feels personal in a way most rap beefs don't. Years passed, lawsuits, bankruptcy, court cases, settlements, jail time, troll posts, old rumors being brought back again and again. Every time Buck tried to move forward, something pulled him back into the same story. And now here we are in 2026, and somehow it's still going. A birthday party turns into a viral meme war. A meme turns into a live rant. A live rant turns into another round of internet humiliation. And the craziest part is, the internet treats it like a TV show. People pick teams, people laugh, people repost. But if you really step back and look at the full picture, this might be one of the longest-running personal wars in hip-hop history. And it never really cooled off. It just kept evolving with the internet. First it was radio, then DVDs, then blogs, then Instagram, now AI images, same war, different weapons. And the real question now isn't who started it this time. The real question is whether this ever ends. Because at this point, it's not just about music or money or contracts anymore. It's about pride. It's about reputation. It's about who controls the story and who gets remembered as the winner. And right now, the reason this went viral isn't just because of what was said. It's because people can feel that this isn't over. Not even close. Every post feels like a new chapter. Every response feels like buildup. And the silence between their moves, that might be the loudest part of the whole story. Because think about the pattern here. Every few years something happens. A reunion that doesn't last. A court case. A leaked audio. A meme. A mugshot post. A money headline. Another response, another joke, another viral moment. It's like a cycle that keeps repeating itself, and every time it repeats, the roles stay the same. One person plays the villain who laughs and trolls and looks untouchable, and the other plays the underdog who keeps trying to fight back and reclaim his name. And the internet loves this kind of story, because the internet always chooses characters, not facts. People don't just watch what happens, they pick who they think is winning. And once the internet decides who's winning, it's almost impossible to change that narrative no matter what the truth actually is. And that's why that one moment, that one live video from the neighborhood, was actually bigger than people think. Because Buck wasn't just talking to 50, he was talking to the audience. He was trying to show something. Look where I am. Look who's around me. Look how I can walk. Look how people greet me. That wasn't just a rant, that was an image. An image is exactly what this entire war has always been about. Image versus image. Reputation versus reputation. Internet power versus street respect. And those two things don't always translate the same way. Someone can look powerful online and still not have respect in real life. Someone can have respect in real life and still get clowned online. And the most interesting part of this whole situation is that these two men represent those two different types of power, and neither one cancels the other out completely, which is why neither one has been able to fully destroy the other after all these years. But the internet doesn't understand balance. The internet only understands winning and losing. So every time something happens, it turns into scorekeeping. Who got more likes? Who had the better comeback? Who went more viral? Who looked more embarrassed? And right now, whether people want to admit it or not, 50 still knows how to win the internet. He knows timing. He knows captions. He knows exactly which button to press to make the crowd laugh, and once the crowd laughs, it doesn't matter how serious the situation is anymore, because the moment it becomes funny, the person being laughed at automatically loses in the eyes of the public. That's a dangerous kind of power, because it means you can turn someone's real life into a running joke, and once a person becomes a joke online, everything they do after that gets filtered through that image. But here's the twist that nobody is really saying out loud. For something to keep going this long, for 18 years, for it to keep resurfacing again and again and again, that means neither side has really let it go. Because if one person truly walks away and stops responding, the story dies. But this story never dies. It just goes quiet and then comes back louder. And that tells you that this is deeper than business, deeper than rap. deeper than money. This is pride. This is ego. This is history that neither one of them wants rewritten by the other. One is trying to prove he was always the boss, always in control, always the mastermind. The other is trying to prove he was never just a side character, never just a joke, never just a mistake that got removed from the group. And as long as both of those things exist at the same time, this situation will never really end. It will just evolve into new forms. So when that footage went viral, it wasn't just because of what was said in that moment. It went viral because people could feel the history behind every word. Every joke had history behind it. Every insult had history behind it. Every response had history behind it. This wasn't a random internet argument. This was chapter number who knows what in a story that's been running for almost 2 decades. And the reason it still captures attention is because it feels unfinished. It feels like there was never a real ending, never a real sit down, never a real closure. Just humiliation, retaliation, jokes, and silence, over and over again. And that's why the tension at the end of this whole situation feels different. Because now people aren't just watching for entertainment anymore. People are watching to see who breaks first. People are watching to see if this turns into music, into court again, into another viral moment, or into something nobody expects. Because when two people have this much history, this much pride, and this many public moments behind them, the story doesn't just disappear. It builds, quietly, slowly, in the background, until one day something bigger happens and everyone suddenly remembers that this was never really over. Not even close.